maiden to walk forward from the assembled crowd, and one did, reluctantly. And she was invited to step inside the chamber. And the chamber was closed, and the assembled crowd began to grow restless with discontent. Very dangerous. For this was the ordeal of the 7 deadly blades. And as the emperor took one of the blades, the assembled crowd grew more restless with discontent. And he passed the blade through the chamber. And then he took the second blade, and the assembled crowd grew ever more restless with discontent. Restless. And the second blade. He took the next 2 blades. And the assembled crowd grew ever more restless with discontent. Please, no photographs. This is extremely dangerous. And the third blade through the chamber. And the fourth blade. And the assembled crowd grew ever more restless. And the next 2 blades would pass through the chamber. And the 6th. And the assembled crowd grew more restless. But this was the ordeal of the 7 deadly blades. The emperor's favorite, the big one. And this would go through the center of the chamber. Did the maiden escape? She may have. There is a small yellow door, also one on the back. Perhaps the maiden escaped through the yellow door, if she had not. It was too late, for the emperor would now close off the escape route with a tube. And oh yes, I'll show you, those blades really did penetrate right through the chamber. And the assembled crowd were horrified. "Save the maiden!" they shouted. "You wicked emperor!" Reluctantly, the emperor opened up the escape route. He removed the tube so that in the unlikely event that the maiden had survived this far, she could at least escape through the little yellow door at the back. "The blades!" they shouted. "The blades!" Quicker than that. Reluctantly, the emperor removed the big blade, and to his dismay, there was no blood upon it. "More blades!" they shouted. "More blades!" And the emperor removed the next 2 blades, and to his dismay, they too were clean of blood. And the assembled crowd began to think perhaps the maiden had survived this dreadful ordeal. They began to grow optimistic. Optimistic. Oh. "More blades!" they shouted. And the next 2 blades were removed, and they too were clean. And the last 2 blades were taken, and they too were clean of blood, and the assembled crowd were very optimistic that the maiden had survived this dreadful ordeal. "Open the door," they shouted. "Open the door! You wicked, wicked emperor." Reluctantly, the emperor threw open the door of the chamber, and to the delight of the assembled crowd, the maiden had indeed survived. Thank you. And the assembled crowd were delighted. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I hope you've enjoyed my little show from China. Thank you for coming, thank you for watching.